So today we have a lot of topics to discuss. We decided to meet to discuss, these rumors, not rumors, the situation with Red Dead Redemption 1 remake, which is not a remake but a simple port. But first, some news, recent news. Rockstar just purchased a company behind 5M and RedM. Basically they.
I actually just heard about that today. Just had your video recommended to you.
So yeah, it's like it would be interesting to see your live reaction. What do you think? It's a W or is gonna turn bad?
How much did they buy it for?
Oh, we don't know. It's not public information. They
And
just
so,
saw that this company became a part of a Rockstar.
yeah, I think they would probably they might shut it down. I think that might eventually happen. Like not all of a sudden, but they might announce like, in a month or two we're shutting it down. I would
So
like to
some
see it come.
servers or
I
just
would like to see
everything.
it. I
Because
would like
there
to
are
see it come to
multiple.
console though. I would like to see that, but that's probably never going to happen. But when you really think about it, Rockstar isn't making any money from
Yeah.
like those. There's no microtrans. I'm pretty sure there's no microtransactions in those, right?
On some, there are different servers. It's like a lot of different servers that different people, fans own, or some even companies, and they all different. On some, there are microtransactions. In some, there are no microtransactions. But what you correct about 100% is that Rockstar are not making any money. Well, they sell. You need to have a licensed copy of GTA 5 or Red Dead Redemption 2 to play, but that's it. If there are microtransactions, who cares? Rockstar earns nothing. But now maybe it's gonna change. We don't know. But what do you think Rockstar will do? Like, because people are afraid of two scenarios. Like, first, Rockstar will somehow implement microtransactions to all these servers. I don't know, just like people will have to buy GTA Plus to play it. So, for example, I don't know. Or Rockstar will just shut it down, the whole thing, just to lose this competition with GTA Online and
I
GTA 6
think
Online.
I think it's more likely they'll probably shut it down. That's what I think will happen because I can't imagine them running those two services. Like they'll run GTA Online and then GTA RP, which is just so different from each other. So I think they'll probably shut it down. That's what I think will probably happen. If they do shut it down, they'll probably give people like a month or two. They'll be like, oh, in a month or two, this is getting shut down or something like that. And they're probably hoping that those players will get on GTA Online. But I'm telling you, if they do something like that, the vast majority of players are probably going to get pissed and they're going to be like, nope, I'm not playing GTA Online anymore. I'm done. That's probably what will happen.
That's why I actually think that it's not gonna happen. I think for them it's gonna be more reasonable to not create such a big scandal, especially before GTA 6, and just try to make money of this situation because it's extremely popular. GTRP and even Red Dead RP is a pretty big thing, so who knows? But there is a positive scenario too. For example, they will make official RP servers. What do you think about that? Is it possible? Do you believe? No?
No, probably not. Yeah, no, it's no, probably not. I mean, GTA Online is approaching its 10th year at this point. I can't imagine them, investing time into GTA RP. I think they're just gonna probably possibly shut it down just so that they have no competition.
No,
They
for
probably
GTA 6, for GTA 6 official
oh
RP servers like that.
For GTA 6, then it's a
Yeah,
possibility. For GTA 5, probably not. And they probably threaten the developer with something, like, because Rockstar and Take-Two Interactive do own it. They own the rights
yeah,
to it. So they might have said, either you sell to us or we bring, nasty
yeah.
lawsuit.
They
That's what
could
might
have
have happened.
shut them down legally. Well, it was possible.
Yes.
So yeah, but for GTA 6, who knows? Maybe even for Red Dead Redemption 2 because it's a newer game. But we will see. But what about like I was thinking the best case scenario is RP servers for consoles because it's like a huge market where Rockstar can make a lot of money. So somehow they add this, tools for creators to make these custom RP servers and run them on consoles. I don't know if it's possible from technical point of view because there should be some agreements with Sony, with Microsoft, but just like a theory, it could be huge if it's possible, if it happens.
I think that the next gen consoles I think could definitely run those RP
Yeah,
servers, but the thing is though is that Xbox Microsoft is more willing to go along with it. I don't think that Sony is because do you know that there's modding on console games? Certain console games do have modding in it
yeah,
for
I
single
know, I know.
player. You have noticeably Fallout 4. Skyrim, those games. But here's the thing: is modding on Skyrim, because I play a lot of Skyrim. Modding on Skyrim on PlayStation 5 sucks in compared to Xbox. Like Xbox modding is better because with Xbox I don't remember what it's called, but you can download like external things for like the Xbox, like new stuff to the game. But like when it comes to PlayStation modding, it's just basically like you're modding and reshaping things that are already in the game. Where with the Xbox version, you can add things that were not in the game previously. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, Sony has just been completely against any kind of modding on console, even if it's single player, even if it's, like, nothing, there's nothing bad about it, there's no, like, hacking or anything like that, just, like, mods for single player. Sony is, like, totally against that
Why?
a lot of times.
Do you know why? Like,
I'm not sure. I think it's something more of technical standpoint. I think maybe they're possibly scared of games getting hacked or something like that, but it hasn't happened on the Xbox. Xbox modding is better. And like for somebody who's mainly like a PlayStation guy, I'll say, the modding on the Xbox is much better than like the modding on the PlayStation, when it comes to like single player games. So it's much better.
yeah, it's just, it's just a wild theory because I thought that there is a lot of potential, but I'm not quite sure if it's possible from, all this technical point of view. But it would be cool to have an RP, especially official RP servers on consoles. And actually, why I think that it's still rather a positive news because, for example, my viewers, they also think that most likely Rockstar will start heavily monetizing all this stuff. And second, most likely possibility is what you said, they will just shut it down. But why I cautiously optimistic is because Rockstar announced it officially. Like, I think if they were planning to shut it down, they would buy them quietly and do all this stuff without too much noise. But the most interesting part is that in a newswire where they officially announced it, they're saying like, look for more information about our like cooperation with this RP community in the future weeks or month. So soon they will announce something. So I think maybe, who knows, maybe it's something interesting. Maybe it's something cool. So I'm a little bit optimistic about this, but, recently Rockstar were not giving us too many reasons to be optimistic about them. And it leads us to our main topic, like, what have you felt when you saw that Red Dead Redemption 1 is not a remake, not a remaster, it's a simple port and not even to PC for $50?
How that happened is I left that comment on your video. I was not joking about that. So that day that it was announced was Monday, right? Monday I had like I went to sleep pretty late. I was dealing with a few things with my rental property the other night, and went to sleep pretty late. And I woke up a few times in the night, and I kept going back to sleep. And I had a bad dream, bad dream about like some crazy dog chasing me. And then then I woke up. And I looked at my phone, and one of the first videos when I scrolled through the YouTube was like I got recommended your video, and I clicked on it, and this was before I even read the newswire. I just looked at your video, and Rockstar was like saying that that we're re-releasing Red Dead Redemption 1 on like the PS4 for $50. It's not like a remaster, and I thought I was actually dreaming at that point. I didn't think, I thought I was like, oh, this is part of my nightmare again. I'm still asleep. But no, I realized I was very much awake, and I was like, what? Like I couldn't believe that because we were expecting like a Red Dead remaster. If anything, if anything, I think and most people were probably expecting like maybe a definitive edition of Red Dead Redemption 1, where it's not like Red Dead 2's engine, but at least the graphics are like somewhat updated and like a Red Dead
and
1
the
engine.
PC, and
but
the PC
yeah,
port, obviously.
yeah, but nobody, almost nobody expected Rockstar to actually just re-release the exact same game. No 60 FPS, no multiplayer, nothing really new. And that's, I was like, what the hell, seriously? And I just made like a rant video about it, and I posted it. And that rant video that I posted was like my most popular crazy current events video in like, I would say possibly even years, because that video got nearly like, 90,000 views in like a day for a crazy current events video. And crazy current events videos almost never get that much views in like a day. Whenever I post a crazy current event video, it's maybe like 20,000 or 30,000 max in like a day, but it's never like 90,000. So it's like triple my normal views, just ranting about that. So I saw so many people were pissed about it, not just me.
Pretty much everyone was pissed about it, I'm telling you, because you said like people were expecting remaster or at least like a port to PC. Some people were expecting nothing, like it's all just a mistake, just lost all the hope in Rockstar. But literally no one was expecting, really no one was expecting that it's just a port to Nintendo and PlayStation 4, and they will sell it for so much money. And talking about money, you've seen that comment from Zelnick, CEO of Take-Two, to IGN. They did it to IGN that $58 is an accurate, commercially accurate price.
Commercially accurate, yeah.
I'm afraid I have to agree with him because I made some, search for some data, and Trilogy, the definitive edition, sold 20 million copies up to date. And most of these copies out of 20 million, they sold for $60. Huge disaster, big scandal. People still bought it. And even more, I made a vote on my channel, like simple question, like, will you buy it or not? And from people who can buy it, who have PlayStation or Nintendo, out of these people, 36% said that they will buy it. So what I mean is when he's saying that price is commercially accurate, he means that by selling for this price, they will make most amount of money. Because like he's not saying it, but I think that's what he knows. People will buy it anyway, and I'm think it's a weird situation. Like for Rockstar, there is no reason, unfortunately, to try any harder if people are still buying it. What do you think about it?
I think that when Strauss Zelnick is doing his crazy workouts at the gym, he's probably like benching, like lifting, and he's like, wait, what if we re-release Red Dead Redemption 1 on the PS4? Yeah, that's a good idea. And then he drinks his protein shake at the gym. That's probably like, what happened. Like, I just cannot believe that they did something like that. But it's also the fact, I'll tell you something though, even though there's people admitting that they're going to buy it, not everybody's going to buy it at, full $50 price.
Yeah.
Some people are going to wait until Black Friday, which is, November, which...
Not on Switch. Discounts are super rare on Twitch.
Switch.
I said Twitch. But... Switch. It's
Well, look at it also this way. The physical version is coming out October, right?
Yeah.
So there might be somebody that just, buys it, plays it, finishes it. It's like, I don't want this anymore. And then it's just, selling it something like on eBay or sells it like a video game shop. And when you buy the game used, obviously you're getting a better discount. But also when you buy a game used, the developer does not get anything, not even 1%. 100% of the profit goes to the person who is selling the used game.
I hope a lot of people will do this.
That's what I say. If you're going to buy the game, if you're going to buy it used. Wait until, get the physical copy, buy it used, because then that way, at least the developer is not getting any money from something like that. But what I'll say about this with, like, Rockstar Games and Take-Two Interactive is that, sure, this is going to bring, them a ton of money, but what I'll say about this is it's going to be profitable, but is it moral? That's the thing that you
It's not, but he was not speaking about moral, unfortunately.
I know.
And,
I know, but...
They don't care. I'm afraid they don't care. Take-Two and Rockstar, they don't care about reputation because for two reasons possible. First, they see that they are selling a lot of games anyway. Like Definitive Edition showed that, like 20 million copies is not a joke. It's insane. It's a really good result for any new game, and they managed to do it with lazy. It's not even a remaster. It's not even a remake. It's a remaster done by third company. And 20 million copies. Boom! How much money is that? All close to $1 billion, something. And second reason, they think that they don't care about reputation because GTA6 will fix it. So it's also possible. What do you think?
Yeah, and I think that when it comes to a game company like Rockstar, I think that people go too easy on them. That's what I think. I think that because when you look at like a studio like Rockstar, for example, there's like a cult like around them, like in a way. Maybe I'm going a little too far by calling it a cult. What I'll say is there's a crazy fanboy following.
It's close to be a cult. I might agree.
I'll give you a perfect example. Like if you look at like DICE, for example, like the Battlefield developer. You ever played the Battlefield games?
Sure.
Well, DICE, for Battlefield, you had a huge following for that game. You had a pretty big fan community for that. However, though, the fan community in that game was very divided, and in fact, people got really pissed. Like, when Battlefield 1 came out, universally the Battlefield fans loved it. Like I would say more than 90% of the Battlefield fans loved it. When Battlefield 5 came out, a lot of the stuff was not historically accurate. The developer was not listening to fans. They were very slow on the updates. They gave like a very bad attitude. They said, oh, if you don't like the game, don't buy it. And what happened is, when that happened, the sales of Battlefield 5 plummeted. Like if you compare Battlefield 1 sales and Battlefield 5 sales, like it didn't go up like as much as Battlefield 1. Like for example, like every GTA game, sells more copies than the last GTA game. But with Battlefield, for example, the developer, because of just how they treated the fans, it went down. And then you look at Battlefield 2042, it was a disaster. People were pissed and they were not buying it, and had like some of the worst sales in like a Battlefield game in a long time. So even though Battlefield had like a passionate community, the fans were just not taking crap and just basically said, no, we're not dealing with this. And so a lot of them boycotted the game. But when it comes to like Rockstar games, it's like boycotts don't really work. Like, people will complain and complain,
Not
but
a
then
chance.
they'll still go and
Not
buy
a chance for boycott.
they'll still go and buy it. I told people that I will do a video on my channel of showing the edition and like the PS3 version, and I'll have them running side by side just to show you guys that like there's no difference between it, but to take a look at it on my channel. But I feel like a lot of people are still gonna buy it. But that's what I'm saying. If you're gonna buy it, just buy it used. Don't buy the don't because you're just basically enabling stuff like this to happen.
At least wait for reviews. Like that's what I said, because a lot of people are planning to pre-order it, and I think that it's a risky move, especially knowing how bad the definitive edition was. So at least people should wait until they haven't shown gameplay this time again. Have you noticed this? Only screenshots, only trailer. Where is the gameplay? Show us gameplay at least, to make a better decisions. But yeah, I'm afraid like people will buy it for collection because of nostalgia and because Switch. Some people just always wanted to have it on Switch, and I see why, because you can take Switch everywhere on a beach and play from there. So maybe that's why sale numbers will be impressive. Maybe that's why definitive edition sale numbers are so impressive, because I was not expecting to see such huge number. I thought it's a fail, and they lost money, because do you remember rumors that Rockstar shut down remasters of Red Dead Redemption 1 and GTA 4 after the fail of definitive edition? Apparently they were not true, right? What do you think?
Yeah, but I believe the rumor that Rockstar shut down the GTA 4 remaster. I believe that one, because we haven't heard anything. GTA 4 is my favorite GTA game, and we haven't heard anything about GTA 4, since the last time that we heard anything about GTA 4 was that probably 2011. That's when they released the Ballad of Gay Tony and the Lost and Damned for the PS3 and the Xbox 360. We haven't heard anything about GTA 4. So every year GTA 4's anniversary comes up and Rockstar's not saying anything. It's like 10 years passed. Even on the 10-year anniversary in 2018, all they did was they took out music of the game because they were too cheap to renew the licenses. I really liked a lot of the stuff music in that game, but it just sucked that they took out a lot of the good songs in that one. And 10 years passes, they're not even doing anything for it. So that just hurts the GTA community so much. It's like they want to forget about GTA 4. So I feel like that GTA 4 they really don't care about. Red Dead Redemption, Red Dead Redemption 2 is still relatively fresh. It came out in 2018, and so they're just like, a lot of people didn't play the original one, and so they're like, oh, if you want to continue John Marston's story here, buy this right now, and they're expecting a ton of people to buy it, and people are. Unfortunately, a lot of people are going to buy it.
But maybe they will make exactly the same, not a remaster, but a port to Switch. And
well, the thing about this is, here's the thing: if they did a GTA 4 port, right?
Yeah.
I think that a GTA 4 port would be a bit different, and the reason I think it would be a bit different is because GTA 4 had a PC version. Remember that? Where Red Dead Redemption did not have a PC version. So if they did a GTA 4 port, it would be vastly superior to a PS3 and Xbox 360 version. It would run better. It would run probably at 60 FPS, and it would probably have the updated PC graphics. Because I played a lot of GTA 4 on PC, and then one day when it was the anniversary of GTA 4 in April, I played GTA 4 online on PS3, and I'm like, wow, I forgot how bad the graphics are on the PS3 version compared to the PC version. The PC version, the textures and everything just looks so much more smooth. There's not as much lag, but on the PS3 version, version, I just forgot how much lag there was, and just how bad some of the graphics sometimes looked. So hoping that if they do like a PS4 version, that it's going to be the PC ultra graphics, that's going to be having that on the PS4 version, and just have a much better. But $50 even for that would be too much. I would say that a PS4 version of GTA 4 should have like $20-$30 at most. But
Same with Red Dead Redemption
yeah,
1, I think.
and they should have multiplayer. I want multiplayer in a GTA 4 port. I'm pissed. I'm pissed about these developers just cutting multiplayer in these ports a lot of times.
Why?
But I want
By the way,
multiplayer.
why? Like Red Dead Redemption 1, apparently, we don't know it for sure, but it really looks like, because of official information on on the page where you can buy it, says that there will be no multiplayer, only single player in this port on PlayStation 4. Like, why? Why they decided to remove it?
Laziness and having to maintain the servers. That's probably what it's about ultimately.
Yeah, but it's not
I,
not that much. It's also peer-to-peer connection. Yeah, they need to have some servers, but
they probably don't feel like managing the game. It's laziness. It's incompetence. What I'll say about this is these gaming reporters, these gaming journalists, they suck. They really do. Because when I was reading that IGN article, and when they asked, like, the IGN guy like asks, like, Strauss Zelnick, like, is it $50 because of Undead Nightmare? And then Strauss Zelnick is like, oh yeah, it's a good value for your money and all this, blah blah blah. Well, I would say, if I was a reporter, I would say, well, sure, you might be giving us Undead Nightmare, but you're cutting multiplayer, which a huge amount of people want. So you actually are removing a ton of content from the game, because multiplayer is like a third of the game in that way. You have, single player, Undead Nightmare, and multiplayer. So, like, I would say multiplayer is like a good chunk of the game. So you are removing a chunk of it. So I would say, how can you justify the $50 price if you're removing multiplayer? But no, these developers are just scared of, being, yeah, I would say they're just scared of taking that tone of Rockstar, because the thing about this is Rockstar and Take-Two Interactive, if you notice, most of their interviews, I'm sure you know this, are just softball interviews.
it's not interview. You cannot call them interviews.
It's more like they're praising them instead of interviewing them.
I think it's a PR department of Rockstar is just making both questions and answers, and then they just sell it to some website, and they just publish it, gaming website. But actually, these questions that sometimes after investors call journalists of IGN and other asking, they are more interesting usually, because, like, remember how, like, a year ago, Strauss Zelnick was asked, like, what about Red Dead Online? So it's an not a soft question. And when he said that Rockstar has a plans, but then Rockstar had to actually correct him and said that plans are only for supporting maintaining servers, not for.
Yeah, I remember that. That pissed me off.
Yeah. So it was a tough question. So sometimes you can see tough questions on this stage, like when they ask Strauss Zelnick, but never Rockstar directly. I agree with you.
I would say that the reason that they sometimes get tough questions at the investors call is because it's just like an event. It's just like an event. You have people show up, and you have a bunch of reporters show up, and they're there. It's kind of like basically a press conference. That's what it ultimately is. And so there you are going to have unplanned, unscripted questions. But when it comes to like an actual interview where you sit down with the developer and you interview them, Rockstar is probably going to be like, they're going to be very picky. They're probably going to choose some magazine, like, newspaper gaming article that you never heard of before. It's like you never hear these guys, and then they're going to be like, okay, tell us your questions, what you want to ask us before the interview. That's probably what they'll be like.
Yeah, it's like I'm 100% sure that it's all written like before, answers questions, and there is no actual interview.
These interviewers, I think, are also scared to ask them any tough questions, because if they ask them any tough questions, they know Rockstar will never do an interview with them ever again. And so for their really small, like, gaming websites, I guess they need those big interviews with Rockstar, even if they're gonna be BS nonsense interviews. But yeah, that's what it was. Like, I remember that one really cringe interview they did like a few years ago, where they said that Rockstar's being interviewed, and they said Blood Money's a massive success. It's one of our best stuff. That was so cringe. That was
it was a part of a question. Like, it was like a statement in the question. Blood Money is a huge success. Players love it. Something like that. Yeah, I always. It was always weird to see these interviews, but you know what's interesting? Rockstar kind of stopped to even make such so-called interviews. There is nothing at all. I don't see
Well,
interviews like that recently.
you know that VG 24/7, I think they were, that was one of the websites that actually did those softball interviews with Rockstar in the past. They actually attacked Rockstar like last year. I don't know if you remembered that about the Save Reddit Online thing.
Yeah, I remember.
So one of the people that actually gave Rockstar the softball interviews actually did an article like a year later attacking Rockstar over this, ignoring the fans that Save Reddit. So they actually did good. But the thing is, though, don't expect them to ever get an interview with Rockstar again now after that. They're never going to get it now. But yeah, one thing that I was actually finally happy about is I was finally happy that the media was like attacking Rockstar over the Save Reddit Online thing, because it took a few months, but eventually the media, like you start seeing like gaming articles and websites, they started talking about the Save Reddit Online thing and how the game's being neglected. And I think after all that pressure, I think that's when Rockstar finally came out with a statement and just said that, oh,
Yeah.
we're not gonna have any more large updates.
I also think that it's related. Like some people say, well, after that they decided to abandon Red Dead Online. No, come on, they decided to abandon Red Dead Online like years ago. It was literally abandoned since December of 2021. Nothing new. Only monthly events, like events are bonuses and discounts. Like it's abandoned. They Save Red Dead Online movement achieved something. They made Rockstar to publicly admit that they shifted resources to GTA 6, which I don't believe is necessarily true, because they have a lot of resources. They could have worked on Red Dead Online just like they do on GTA Online, for example, with like minimal amount of content that they call updates, but they decided to abandon it completely. And like there is no hope, obviously. There was a small hope. I had a hope that if it's a Red Dead Redemption 1 remake, not a remaster, who knows, maybe they will try to promote it in Red Dead Online, try to make some money with big updates, but no, it's just nothing. So actually, a lot of people asking like how it all can affect the future of Red Dead Online. Today, I was asked about this relating to this news about RP servers, and like, I'm sorry, there is no future, nothing to be affected. There is no future for Red Dead Online. It looks to me like that. I guess you agree.
Yeah, and I would say is part of the reason that I think that Reddit Online also got abandoned. I'm considering making a video about this, but I feel like if I make the video, I'm gonna get a lot of people pissed.
Would be
But
nice
at
to
this,
see it. Would be nice to see it. It's
but
really interesting. Your theory.
but I would actually, I think I'm still gonna make a video. But if I don't make a video, I'm definitely gonna make a tweet about this. But
But I
basically,
make
what I
a
wanted,
video, like
yeah, what I want to
documentary or
make,
something with arguments.
what I want to make a video talking about is basically this incompetence and this laziness at Rockstar. Part of it I blame on the people who defend Rockstar so much. The people that make excuses for Rockstar and defend Rockstar all the time, I blame them partially for this. Because what happens is, remember when Red Dead Online was being killed? Like, it wasn't killed fully yet, but it was starting to get killed off. Like, this is like maybe like 2 years ago, like when Blood Money came out and people were
Yeah,
like
around Blood
complaining.
Money, yeah.
People were complaining, and then like a few months after Blood Money came out, we're like, where's the Newswire post? Why aren't you talking about another update? It's like, why are you not listening to the fans? It's like, right when Blood Money came out, you had the tuners update on GTA Online, which wasn't a massive update, but it was still
much bigger.
much bigger. It was
Yeah,
like 5 times bigger than what we had gotten with Blood Money. And you had those, I'm sure you've seen those comments of like people posting those comments and just writing, oh, you can't blame Rockstar for this. It's like GTA Online is more popular. It's good for business. Like, all those other stuff. It's good that Rockstar abandons Red Dead Online because they can focus on more GTA content and we have better. And the thing about this is, when you think about that, what has happened since Rockstar has abandoned, Red Dead Online? Have we gotten amazing, great GTA Online updates? No, we haven't.
Nothing.
The only good GTA update that we have gotten since Rockstar abandoned Red Dead Online, and that's not when they fully abandoned it yet, but it was in the process, was the contract. That was December of 2021. That was the last time we got a good GTA Online update. Ever since then, I wouldn't say the updates were absolutely terrible, but they weren't amazing either. And so we're just getting nothing but smaller and smaller updates. And look at what also happened is GTA Definitive Edition disaster. That was what, November
November.
2021.
Yeah.
November 2021. GTA Definitive Edition disaster. Smaller GTA updates. You had summer criminal. What was it called?
Enterprises.
Criminal Enterprises. Yes, that's what it was. Which the story sucked. The missions were terrible in that one. Some of the things in the businesses were good, but it wasn't a good update. And then you had the Drug Wars DLC, which in December, which I guess was bigger, but the drip feed just lasted for months. And then when they finally released the end of the story, it sucked. It's like, Dr. Friedlander, who's like he's one of the most hated GTA characters of all time, gets away. Like he is one of the most hated GTA characters of all time is Dr. Friedlander, and he literally escapes after after that. That pissed a lot of people off. So the updates have been getting smaller. We've been getting less content. And look at what happened now. I thought that they were working on a Red Dead remaster, but what have they been doing for the last 5 years? And now instead we get this. We get Red Dead re-release. So by these people defending Rockstar, I'm not blaming them 100% for this. I'm not even blaming them 50%. What I'm saying is they have partial blame for this also because they are enabling this behavior. They're defending Rockstar constantly, and they're saying, oh, Rockstar should abandon GTA Online. It's good for business. We'll get more GTA content. Well, where was the extra GTA content? We didn't get it. And look, this is what you have right now, this Red Dead, re-release. So for the people that say abandoning Red Dead Online was good for business, I would ask them, oh, you can make the argument that GTA Plus is good for business.
But it is good for business. They're making money by doing nothing. It is good for business.
Technically, you are right on that. Technically, that it is making them a ton of money. It's definitely good for their business. But the thing about this is the same people that defend Red Dead Online getting canceled and say it's good for business, when you bring up GTA Plus, I don't know if you've seen this, they get very defensive. Because usually the people who defend Red Dead Online getting canceled are very against GTA Plus. I've seen that. And I bring that up to them and I say to them, well, you say that canceling Red Dead Online is good for business, then you have to say, if you're going to admit that canceling Red Dead Online is good for business, you have to admit that GTA Plus is also good for business. And these people are arguing with me, no, that's not good for business, that's just greed. Well, look, how is abandoning Red Dead Online not greed then too? You're making excuses for Rockstar abandoning Red Dead Online, but then you're refusing to defend GTA Plus when somebody could make the same thing. And then somebody could make the argument, oh, re-releasing Red Dead Redemption 1, that's also good for business.
Yeah, and it is, and it's also a greed, but greed might be good for business. So
that's the thing, is that ultimately my point in this is that I understand that Rockstar is a company, I understand they're a business, I understand that they want to make money, but I believe though that especially when it comes to business though, that you should have also morals and you should have some honor. You should have morals and honor. You might not make as much money, but you have a better reputation, and people don't think that you're an absolute scumbag. Like, for example, me, I get tons of emails. Like, I have only done 2 sponsorships on my channel in years. Only 2. Galaxy Lamps and Opera GX. And the only reason I have done those 2 sponsorships is because I actually like those products. I use Galaxy Lamps and I use Opera GX. That's my main browser. So I actually do enjoy those products and I do like those. But I've gotten hundreds of emails like offering me tons of money to advertise random products that I've never heard of that I don't even like or use. And for me, I have never answered those emails. I don't reply to those emails because I don't like that. If I'm going to advertise a product, it's only going to be a product that I like and that I truly think is good. Then I'll advertise it. Like that Raid Shadow Legends crap, I have gotten dozens of emails about that. Like, oh, advertise your Battle Royale mobile game.
Millions of them.
I have never done that. I have never advertised Raid Shadow Legends, even though they've given me so many offers for that. They've offered me lots of money for that. I have never advertised Raid Shadow Legends because I don't like the game. I'm not into Battle Royale, and I just don't play mobile games. And also because I care about my reputation. When people watch my streams and they ask me, do you like Battle Royale games? Do you play mobile games? And I tell them, no, I'm just not into it. I just don't like Battle Royale games. I don't like mobile games. And then I'm going to start doing, ads for Raid Shadow Legends and stuff. People are going to come to my channel and be like, you're saying one thing on the stream, but then you're doing something else on the sponsorship. It's like, what's going on, professional? Are you honest or not? And so I care about my reputation. I care about people liking my content and thinking that I'm an honest person. I am. I don't BS. I'm very straightforward with people. And so I care about my reputation. And if that means that I get less money, but at least, people respect me as an honorable person, then I'd rather be respected as an honorable person and have less money than, sell my soul for corporate greed.
Yeah,
That's
but you say an important part here. You care about your reputation. I care about my reputation. But apparently Rockstar don't care about reputation. That's my point.
Because they have those people that will sit there and defend them, those
but,
fanboys.
But they just, let's say there is an equation. On one part of the equation, there is a profit, and on the other is reputation losses. And now you remove reputation losses because you don't care about them. So boom. Choices are obvious. Yes, $50 for a simple port is then accurate price because you lose reputation and you lose a lot. They lost a lot of reputation. Have you seen dislikes on that trailer?
No, but I have to download. There's like that extension that you can download.
Yeah, but
that
everyone is posting, and last time I checked, it was 35,000 likes and 130,000 dislikes. 130, and comments are like, "Oh, Rockstar, you never fail to disappoint us." It's like a huge reputation lost. But if they don't care, why not? So that's a problem I see here. They don't care about reputation, and it seems like for a long time now, like for a few years at least.
By YouTube disabling the dislikes also, they're partially at fault like this, because people can't see the dislikes unless you download a specific extension. I gotta download that, but that was this removing dislikes is one of the stupidest things that YouTube has ever done.
Yeah, and it benefits companies and corporations and
scams
clickbaiters. Actually, removing dislikes benefits people and companies and institutions who don't care about reputation, because dislikes are showing reputation in a way. Like if someone clickbaits like, "Oh, GTA6 was just announced," boom, this person has like 10% like to dislike ratio. But if people don't see it, they might have even problems to find out that it's a scam. It's not true. It's a lie. And I also didn't like this.
Think about it this way: when YouTube removes dislikes, somebody can post videos, advertising a scam. There's no dislikes on that, and what the owner of the video, the scammer, they can delete all the negative comments, and they will all put bots down there where they will post nothing but positive comments about that, and you'll think that people are having a real conversation. I've seen this before, where people think that they're having a real conversation, but they're not. So that's why I say that YouTube removing the dislikes has put viewers also in danger to scams.
I've seen, I don't know, you probably seen it as well. I've seen such fake conversations in my comments, right? Exactly. Right in the
investment
comments.
scams?
Like some person shows up and says like, "Oh, that crypto scam is super awesome. I just made $1 billion," and boom, there is like 10 replies. "Oh, you made $1 billion. Tell us how."
Contact this investor on WhatsApp.
It says likes, and I was sitting like, okay, that's interesting. Let me ban all these people, fake people from my channel.
There's a comment that eventually says, "Oh, contact this investor on WhatsApp or Telegram," right?
Yeah,
it'll tell you that. Have you seen my video pissing off the scammers?
No.
That was the video. I'll send it to you after the video. But there was a video that I did a week ago, but it started back in May. Where there was one of those scam comments I seen, and they were like, "Oh, contact this person on WhatsApp," and I started texting the scammer, and I was basically pretending that I was interested in their investment. And what happened is my friend comes into the conversation, and my friend pretended to be a rival scammer. So he pretended to be a rival scammer, and the scammer is like, "Oh, if you give me $10,000 in Bitcoin, I'll give you $20,000 in like a 1 week." And they wanted me to go to their, sketchy website. It was like a way to steal the Bitcoin. And my friend comes in, and he's like, "I'll give you $30,000 in 3 days if you give me $10,000." I'm like, "Oh, I guess I'm sending it to him." And the scammer freaks out. And he's like, "Don't send it to him. Don't send it to him. It's a scam." But the thing about this is the scammer doesn't care. The scammer only wants me to get scammed by them. And so they think that they lost $10,000. They got so pissed. And I tricked the scammer into clicking a link. And I grabbed their IP address from that link. And I found out that they were actually in Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria. And I submitted a police report to the Nigerian police, but I don't think
it will be ignored. I'm afraid
they don't do anything.
It's just not gonna. They're not gonna do anything. But is like this talk about reputation. What do you think will happen? Like Rockstar will be able to fix it and return the reputation? Because you say, there are some people who defend, but as we can see, dislikes are huge. Pretty much everything every time
He,
Rockstar does something, boom, dislikes, negative comments.
the thing about this is that people, Rockstar, I don't think will ever get their reputation back. However, though, even though they won't get their reputation back, they won't lose in sales. That's the thing
Yeah,
about that.
yeah.
So people are still gonna hate them, but they're still gonna buy their products. That's what it's gonna be like.
So
I
what
mean,
can change it? Like only one scenario where GTA 6 for some reason will not be great, right?
yeah, I mean, the thing about this is, and this is the problem with like people that defend Rockstar all the time, because do you know I have when people ask me, what is the best GTA game, I tell them in my opinion the best GTA game is GTA 4. And when they ask me why, I say the story is much better. It has more realism to it, and I think the map is better in GTA 4 than in GTA 5. And do you know what people always do? When people come to my channel, they say, "No, professional, GTA 4 is not better than GTA 5." And I say, "Why?" And they're like, "Well, GTA 5 sold over $100 million, but GTA 4 sold 30 million." And I'm like, the sales don't matter. Just because a game sells more than another game, that doesn't make the game better. Like, for example, GTA 6 could be much worse than GTA 5. But even though it's going to be much worse, you and me both know it's going to sell more than GTA 5, even if it's worse than GTA 5, because it's just the next Grand Theft Auto game. Everyone's going to pick it up. That's just because it's Grand Theft Auto. This typically happens with Call of Duty too. A lot of the Call of Duty games are worse than the other ones that come out every year, but then yet people still buy tons of it. They buy tons of it.
Yeah.
I was even Vanguard, which like people were saying that Call of Duty Cold War is like the worst Call of Duty game ever. And then like Vanguard came out like 1 year later, and everybody's saying, "Oh, this is the worst Call of Duty now. This one sucks." I remember I got into an argument with a guy. This was like a few years ago. I was playing Cold War, and the guy was like, "Oh, this game sucks. It's terrible. It's the worst Call of Duty." And I'm like, "Dude, why are you buying it then?" And he just basically says, "Oh, well, all my friends bought it and stuff like that." Like, so just because all your friends buy it, it's like if you don't like the game, don't buy it. It's just like that. But people will, even if they get really pissed at the developer, people are still ultimately going to buy it at the end of the day.
So unfortunately, it's not gonna change. They will not.
Rockstar will never get their reputation back.
Yeah.
They will forever be known as that greedy, scummy company that fell. Like, you can go on YouTube and you can look up so many YouTube videos, like the fall of Rockstar Games, where like people will be tons of videos of people calling out their greed over the years. It's just so many things, not just GTA Online, but there's so many scummy things that they've done over the years. But even though that is like, people are still ultimately going to buy their next game. I think that GTA 6, in my opinion, I think it's probably going to be the best-selling game of all time. That's what I think is going to happen. I really do think that. It's probably going to beat record of any game ever sold. That's what I think it's going to be. I think it's possibly going to sell.
I think
it's possibly going to sell like double than GTA 5.
Over time, maybe, but GTA 5 continues to sell like 5 million copies per quarter. So it still sells extremely well. By the way, speaking about sale numbers, like Red Dead Redemption 2 for the last year, since they started to give discounts, is selling like hotcakes. So a lot of copies sold. Like last quarter, 2 million. Before that, it was one quarter with almost 5 million copies. So my point is, it's financially successful. Why Rockstar is not trying to, take advantage of it, if you want, like, I don't know, in some way, for example, by investing money into making a real remake of Red Dead Redemption 1, or by supporting Red Dead Online, in any way, or making even better example, next gen version, 60 FPS, better graphics, overall improvements, and stuff like that for Red Dead Redemption 2. People will buy it. Why Rockstar are not doing it?
I guess because doing a 60 FPS would probably require more effort than porting the PS3 version to the PS4. But you know that there was actually some guy that did 60 FPS on the PS4 version. Did you hear about that?
I thought it's on PS5.
I don't know, but I just know it was the PlayStation version. But it was the PlayStation version. He did some hack. It was something where he got 60 FPS on the
probably PS4 then.
Yeah, and it was some video that was going around recently. I don't remember how he did it, but he got 60 FPS on the PlayStation version, which, why does Red Dead Redemption 2 not have 60 FPS at this point?
Like, I don't know. That was
I
my question. Like, it's an obvious solution for Rockstar to make 60 FPS, some graphical improvements, and sell it on next-gen consoles. Call it next-gen version, just like they actually with enhanced version of GTA 5, they did more job than just improving FPS. But pretty much do something like that. Since
you know
yeah.
I'm sorry. Keep going.
No, I just wanted to say that now it's a great moment. Red Dead Redemption 2 is popular and selling a lot, and people
The
need it.
I just remembered that I was making a video that I want to release by the end of the year, which was top 10 worst things that Rockstar Games has done. And this is like just things that they've done over the years. And then I actually have to change that entire video now in
Yeah,
order because I have to add this in the
you
Red
need to
Dead
update it
re-release. That's that.
constantly. It's,
Yeah. Yeah, and then the thing is though is like right when I finish the entire video, I'm about to publish it. Rockstar does something even worse. I'm like, oh, I gotta make the whole video all over again now.
yeah,
Change the order now. It's just that, and I wouldn't be surprised if I post that video and then in a few years there's gonna be another top 10 things that they do that's really bad. Yeah,
yeah. It really looks like this,
but I
but
think you can guess what's number one on that list.
abandoning Red Dead Online.
Yep, that is number one. That is on number one on the list, and it still is because of the fact that I think that abandoning Red Dead Online is probably the worst thing that they've done, and I think it's the worst thing that they've done because of how immoral it was, because of the fact that
Yeah,
you had an entire community, like thousands of people, that were asking
millions.
Rockstar
I
for
would say millions. I mean,
yeah, you had
possible.
huge amounts of people that were asking Rockstar, please add something to the game, please add support. You have people that were getting together, making entire communities dedicated to this, having the whole Save Reddit Online hashtag, begging Rockstar for communication. Rockstar does not communicate at all. Nothing on the newswire, just nothing but events months, ignoring the fans the
Yeah.
entire time, over and over and over again. And then finally and then remember that scummy thing that they did when it was that one guy on Twitter, I forget the guy's name, but he posted like a post, like a picture, a screenshot of Red Dead, and he said Red Dead Redemption 2 is one of the best games I ever played, and Rockstar actually liked it, but
Save
at
Red
the
Dead
bottom of the
Online.
tweet it was Save Red Dead Online, and then
Yeah,
they unliked it, so they know clearly what's happening, but then
for
they just
sure.
come out and they say that oh, we're abandoning the game. So I think that when they promised an ever expanding world and they said, oh, we want an industrialist role and we want to add houses over time, and just I think that abandoning an entire community, backstabbing and betraying an entire community, I think would probably have to be the worst thing that they did, because if the game wasn't profitable for them in the end, what they could have done is they could have at least just released one final big update, like just one big final update for the fans, like saying like, we're not going to be supporting the game anymore, guys, but we are promising you guys one big final DLC, maybe like adding bank robberies to free mode, adding a ton of new activities to free mode, adding houses, mansions that you can customize, new guns, like, a ton of new guns, player homes, and like bank robbers in one big final DLC. This was like our thank you for playing Red Dead Online, and like this is our last DLC. If they did something like that, one final DLC, and then they cut support, people would still be somewhat pissed, but they would still at least be happy because we at least got one final update and the developer thanking the fans for playing the game. But ending it like this, we're saying, oh, we're cutting support, but we're going to give you guys a few Telegram missions here. Thanks for playing Red Dead Online. That's just like a spit in the face to the fans.
Speaking about that,
That's
Telegram missions, like there will be a new Telegram mission in August, like out of nowhere. For a
oh,
year,
I gave
there
up
was
on
nothing.
those.
Like, why?
I gave up on them.
Why? It's just I see no logic here. Why they continue releasing this content? And actually, the funny thing is, the Telegram is somewhere in the game files, and it's there for years now, probably. So why they decided to drip feed it on such extent? So
So they don't have to do any work.
yeah, but why do they even care releasing any sort of a new Telegram mission here
And
and
they can
there?
probably say, "Oh, look, we're adding content to the game."
Yeah.
That's probably what it's for. You played the Red Dead Redemption Online story, right?
Yeah,
So
of
you know
course.
that Jessica Leclerc's husband's murder has never been solved. You know that
Never.
there's one conspirator left.
Woman.
Yeah, Grace Lansing. There's one conspirator still left alive, and she's like, oh, we'll contact you soon. After that, it's like the
Yeah.
last time you see. It's been 4 years, over 4 years at this point. It's like we're probably gonna have to solve the murder on our own at this point because it's just the fact that the developer is just neglecting it so bad. I actually really wanted to know, see how the story ended. I really wanted to see who killed her husband and who framed you. I think it's probably Horley, her servant. He's probably the one who did the whole thing. He
It
probably
would be
planned
an
the whole
awesome
thing.
twist if
Yeah,
it's Orly. It
that's
would be
what I
super
think.
cool. Like, really. But yeah, unfortunately, we will never find out about that. And you mentioned this story that was never finished, and right at the beginning in the tutorial, remember these brothers who are horse thieves,
Oh yes, those
and they
guys.
literally
Yes.
saying you like soon we will set up like and we're gonna contact you. So almost 5 years later, they're still not set up. Like,
It made it
why?
seem like there was gonna be some kind of DLC with like horse stealing with them, but it wasn't. You never got it.
But it's an awesome idea to make a horse stealing DLC. Like you steal or you tame horses and go and sell them. It's much better mechanic than naturalist stroll, where you have to sedate animals, which is just stupid. And people want to steal horses and don't want to sedate animal, but for some reason Rockstar did it, and like I never understood why. It just makes no sense to me. Like, and then actually, I don't think that game was not profitable. From what I know from my data, they were selling gold on a with good rate. Not as good as shark cards, but they were making good money. But anyway, how do you want your game to be extremely profitable if you don't add the content that people are willing to pay money for, like properties, real robberies? Never seen it. And you mentioned big update, like which would be cool. What do you think in GTA Online? Will we see such big goodbye update like this winter, maybe next
About
summer?
that, I actually made a poll about that
Oh, really?
yesterday. I did. Let me tell you. I'm just gonna bring it up right now. We tell you how people voted here. Uh, okay, so I asked this in my poll. It's on my community tabs. And it's should GTA Online end this winter? Not the servers, but make one final large DLC like a heist in mansions and end it. And I had 13,000 votes, and 86% of people said yes, and GTA Online this winter, and 14% said no, GTA Online should keep going for more years. So 86% of people that voted in this think that GTA Online
It's
should
enough.
end this
It's
winter.
enough.
And when I look at the comments, people are basically saying that they should just focus their resources on GTA 6. No more distractions. One person said if GTA 6 isn't coming anytime soon, then no. The faster GTA stops getting updated, the faster PC modders could truly reshape the game. One person wrote a comment like that. But yeah, I think it's time to end GTA Online. I do. It's 10 years. I think it's probably a good point to end it because I don't know any game that's been going on for longer than 10 years. Do you?
World of Warcraft. It's
Oh,
still
World of
it's
Warcraft.
still going strong, and it's like
And it's getting
20
updates.
years, 20 years or something. I'm not following closely, but yeah, I see trailers time to time, and they
Well,
they
I would.
monetize it heavily, like hell. What I know for sure that is like not even close to selling shark cards and GTA Plus. It's completely.
Well, I would say World of Warcraft is probably a little different because World of Warcraft is an
Yeah,
MMORPG.
but still, 20
But
years is too
I
much.
guess. But like when you think about it, just think about a console game, something that's not an MMORPG. Do you know anything that's supported more than 10 years? Because I really can't think of anything.
It's because of generation of consoles, I think. Like generations are changing, and it's just super hard to support the game for 10 years or more because it's like two different generation changed, and you need to re-release the game again and again. I think that's the only reason why. And actually, Rockstar solved this problem because they re-released GTA 5 again and again. So that's why they keep
I
on.
hope they re-release GTA 5 for PS6. I want updated graphics.
That would be
I want 90 FPS.
that would be funny. But like you said that people want to see it, but what do you think? Is it possible to receive or to receive such a goodbye update, or Rockstar will keep going just like with basically with Red Dead Online releasing smaller and smaller pieces of content and calling it updates? So
I think that Rockstar should probably release one final large DLC for GTA, like something big that is gonna give fans content for months to come. I'm talking about Cayo Perico size, like something like that. Like Rockstar, what they should do is their final DLC, like I would say for December, should be a new heist. That's what I think. Add a new heist, add a new property in free mode that you can plan that heist with, and maybe add that a few activities to that property besides the heist, like something like the arcade, like another front or something like. Then you can have side missions with that business too, but also have it being like a heist and a new location. Maybe they could have you go back to North Yankton, like for a heist, because North Yankton is based on North Dakota in real life, and you're probably wondering, what kind of heist could they do in North Dakota? Well, North Dakota is also a place where the U.S. military has massive bases and has missile silos too, and so they could actually do some crazy, military base infiltration. Something stealing something from the military base, like something expensive there. I could totally see that happening, like maybe some underground vault in like a missile silo or something like that, and they could do like a few different approaches, like aggressive one. They could do one like a big con where you dress up as like maybe military police officers and you go in or something like that. I think that would be pretty cool. You bring back North Yankton, and you have a whole new location, and on top of that, add mansions, because I remember I've been asking my fans for years, what do you want to see in GTA Online, and what I've noticed people ask the most is mansions. That's what I've seen. People really want mansions, and if you're gonna add mansions, please, for God's sakes, add customization to the mansions, because if you just add like a mansion that you're just gonna have one look for everything, it's like there's no point in inviting people to your mansion. But if you can actually customize like the different staircases, the furniture, the wallpaper, the floor, stuff like that, chandeliers, you're gonna have different people that are gonna show up to your house and be like, oh, I want to see what your house looks like compared to mine and stuff like that. And so I think that would be a really cool addition. Mansions, new heist, new vehicles, new guns, one big final DLC. Don't drip feed this crap, just add this all at once. And, this will be something that'll add content for months to come, and Rockstar will be like, thank you for playing GTA Online. Here's our last final update. We hope that you've enjoyed the game, and just end GTA Online off with just that big bang.
Yeah, but you're saying it, and don't you think that it sounds too good to actually happen with
probably
Rockstar?
But I would say that if I was the developer, that's what I would do. I would really make one big final DLC.
But again, it's good for reputation. I mean, such update would obviously earn money as well, because another reason to spend money on share cards. But still, it's more for reputation. Such updates for reputation purposes. And again, that's what we talked about. It unfortunately doesn't look like they care anymore, but we will see. By the way, a question people ask it a lot in the comments, like, what do you think? Old outlaw passes, why Rockstar are not bringing them back to sell for gold? Or okay, they don't want to make new outlaw passes, right? They don't have resources. Why not bring back old outlaw passes and try to sell them? Why they're not doing it?
Good question. I don't know. Maybe because it'll generate them more controversy, but at the same time, they don't really care about that.
But they don't care about controversy. Yeah. Like, who cares?
Maybe it's because... What were those things called? The smaller outlaw passes. What were those called again? The
quick draw clubs. Quick
draw clubs. I remember those came out. They were a disaster. Like, people really didn't like those. Yeah. So I just think like they're completely done with doing anything with the game. I just think they're we're done. We're not gonna bother with anything. Yeah. That's what I pretty much think. Probably.
Yeah, but it's like recently they tried to make easy money here and there, and it looks like easy money, but they refuse to do it. And it's like literally pressing few buttons, bringing back all those low passes. But it just makes no sense to me. So what they do overall makes no sense. Okay, so last question. Your prediction on next year. No, not next year. What will happen with Rockstar until the end of 2024? Because it's a time frame for GTA6 possible release. Like, what do you think? Will something happen?
2024 is definitely gonna be the year that GTA6 is revealed. I feel like it's gonna happen.
Revealed or released?
Revealed. I don't think it's gonna be released next year. I think 2025 is probably when when we can expect GTA 6. 12 years at that point since GTA 5 came out. Yeah, that's I don't really expect much, honestly, from Rockstar right now. I don't think they're really gonna do anything. They're just gonna have a few GTA updates. Maybe we'll have a big DLC in December. We'll have to see, because we haven't had a really big DLC for nearly over a year and a half. Last time we got a good DLC was Contract. So it's maybe this December we'll actually get something like Contract. We'll have to see.
And that's it. And only waiting for GTA 6 from that point, Rockstar will.
Yeah. pretty
Yeah,
much.
I also think it's quite likely. On the other hand, we received this surprise with Red Dead Redemption 1, but I'm not quite sure if anyone is looking for such surprises, really, or not. Anyway, Patrick, was nice to talk to you. We were double ranting, basically, about the recent news. So thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks.